the fact that you bring in your life a little bit into your business, like if this is something that you want to do and you want to embody, great, like you should.
Welcome to Duo on Air, where we help you get seen, remembered, and wildly obsessed over by your audience. We're your hosts, Abby
and Courtney, a pair of ex-agency besties who ditched the cubicles, the Minneapolis skyways, and the corporate jargon for work that matters, with people who inspire us every day. Today, we're a women-powered marketing agency serving brands worldwide, bringing those big agency results without the corporate price tag.
Around here, it's all about what actually grows your business: branding, SEO, websites, and navigating the real-life ups and downs of building a dream while raising tiny humans. We're moms, wives, and best friend business partners in the trenches with you, making the hard stuff feel easy and a whole lot more fun.
So pour a fresh cup, get comfy, because you're exactly where you need to be.
Let's duo this.
Welcome back to the Duo on Air podcast. This is episode number 204, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the balance between playfulness and professionalism. I think somebody had submitted this or emailed us and asked us to do this episode, and we thought it was a really fun idea. So
it's a question we get all the time. I feel like we were just talking about this the other day on an inquiry call about like, how do you balance being fun but being taken seriously, and how do you express your personality visually without feeling too young or immature or
like you might upset somebody or you know, all of the things that we think of. So blame it on our PTSD from the agency world. For a long time, we felt like we had to choose one or the other, being fun or being credible. So when it almost sounded like I said being incredible.
I know. I thought you said that for a second too.
Credible.
Being fun or incredible.
Both. We're both. But as we started to grow, we started to realize that the fun part of our business was like the personality of our business, right? That was our brand. That was who we are. And the further and further we got into our brand and our business, we were like, we are fun though. Like, why do we have to hide this? We don't have to hide this. We can be fun and professional at the exact same time. So in the agency world, that's where like we wore more of that professional hat, right? Like you couldn't be as fun or as funky or as wild or as bold or say the things that you wanted to say. You had to be a little bit more professional and a little bit more
it was
credible.
Almost like you had to change you had to be a chameleon depending on who your client was.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So you kind of like felt a little bit fakeish, you know?
Yeah.
And so when we started our business, we've grown into being the fun and the professionalism. And I think a lot of people are like, well, how do you do that? Or do you have to choose one? And you absolutely don't have to choose one. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about how we do both in our business and how we try to achieve it.
Yeah. And I'd say, so this is something we probably struggled with for like a little bit at the beginning. And we needed some outside help for sure. So like at the beginning, I'd say we wanted to be that serious agency. Like that's kind of like, or that's what we thought we had to do. Like we had to be serious to be taken seriously. And I will say too, like one of the things that I think is really unique about now being able to bring in your own personality, your own voice, your own like uniqueness, it's like the world of AI has changed so much that like people are actually asking ChatGPT for businesses that are X, Y, and Z. And so I think the more unique you are, it's actually better in a sense than it ever has been before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool too.
And I think people are craving like the more or like the less polish, right? Like obviously they still want you to be really good at what you do and the expert in what they're paying you for, but you don't have to show up in a suit and tie anymore. Like we are far past those days.
And we were going to make this a whole nother episode, which we probably will, but
what are we going to say?
Courtney's looking at me all nervous. Like, what are you going to say right now? Not everyone is going to want the mix, like from a client side of things.
Correct.
And we've experienced this before where we have been told that maybe we aren't as strict or rigid in our like the way we deliver things, and people wanted more professionalism. So for example, there are a few things in our business that we're moms, we are like we have a life outside of work, and sometimes we have to drop everything and help our kids. Sometimes we have pickup and we didn't get to something and we're going to get to it after bedtime. Like when we tell our clients that something is due on X day and we'll deliver it, if something comes up in our life, we're not hesitant to be like, hey, like my kid's home sick today. I'm going to send this to you tomorrow. And we work with clients who understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
they-
would say like 99%. I mean, it is a lot of our clients
Yes.
totally understand that
Yeah.
because they get to know us and understand us and kind of like our lives outside of just our business before they even sign with us.
Yep.
So it's very rare
Yeah.
that we do run into this situation, but we have.
And just because we say like, yes, I'll send you over your keywords in a little video by this day, like that could be 9 p.m. Like, I'm not going to lie, because
we're emailing our clients
Yeah.
late at night all of the time.
like it's going to happen, but sometimes there are other things in our life that have to take priority, and our clients understand that and they're okay with that. But there have been a few instances over the years where there are some clients that aren't okay with that. And in response to that, we're not the agency for them.
Right. That was our actual agency's like agency day. Like when
Yeah.
we worked in the big corporate agency, it was just like when you said end of day meant
5 p.m.
basically call of business. Yeah. 5 p.m. But when we say end of day for Duo Collective, that could mean literally 11:59 p.m. Like
That'll be
end
before. I
of
mean,
day.
that could be 1 a.m. It's not really, but you know, it could be like you'll have it before you sip your coffee in the morning kind of situation.
Yeah. So don't be like refreshing your email at 1 p.m. expecting or 5 p.m. Like,
and
that's
it's not
our
that
end
we
of day.
don't like. There's transparency. There's conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
And it goes both ways. Like we have clients who are like, oh, I can't. Like I have to finish this questionnaire, or I have to get you feedback, but X, Y, and Z happens. Great. Like we understand. That's totally fine. Take an extra day, take an extra 12 hours. Like we typically always add buffers into our timeline anyway. So it goes both ways. It's not like we're hypocritical in terms of like, we're going to take a long time to get you something and then you can't do that.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
yes. We're very, very
we're just
flexible.
believers in like your life comes first and business comes second. So
Exactly.
I think there are like, I will caveat this with, you have to be okay with not being that person for everyone. If like the play, and it's not even like playfulness, but it's also just like the, I don't know, just like the relatableness or like the down to earthness or like the fact that you bring in your life a little bit into your business. Like if this is something that you want to do and you want to embody, great, like you should. But making sure your clients also respect the same values as you is really important.
It really does come down to your core values and the clients that you're working with too have values that align with yours.
So yeah, there's been hard conversations we've had before, which is fine. And we also like, I've told Court, I've been like, I feel at peace. Like I feel at peace letting this client like go or letting X, Y, and Z happen because that's not for us.
Right. Which, we literally talked right before we started recording this one on how that could be a podcast at a later date. But I love how you say we have the hard conversations because you guys, it's Abby. I am way too emotional. I cry. I feel bad. I'll give you the world. So I'm kind of just Abby's the backbone when it comes to that because I'm just like, I can't.
If there's a good cop and bad cop, that's what we should maybe be for Halloween one year.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
That would
but
be.
Definitely not slutty ones. So we're way past
gross.
those days.
I'm thinking like zip up jammy onesies, like
yes,
no,
I like that.
comfy, cozy, no. But anyways, that I kind of like digressed there, but I think that's something to think about. Like if you are like, okay, I've always been professional, I want to bring in the softer side to my business and like bring in my personality. Like it's never too late.
Oh gosh,
it's never too late to bring in your personality, whether it's visually, in your voice, in the way that you function in your business. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today is like, where can playfulness and that like funness kind of live? And then where should you be more professional always? Because there is still a time and a place for it.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So the myth really that we're talking about today is that you have to choose one. So, which again is not the case because I feel like Abby and I have done a really good job of balancing both. Again, it's going to be based on like your clients and your audience too. But some of those things, like many small businesses owners fear that being playful will make them look less serious, or that being professional requires being boring, which we've felt that before in the past too. But there really is a good balance with both of them if that's something that you're looking for. So busting that myth is being consistent, having clarity with your professionalism, and not perfection or buttoned up language. So we're going to share some examples. But like, how many of your own clients hire you because your energy feels fun, real, and celebratory? We get this all of the time, all of the time. So clients get on a call with us and it's not necessarily even like our style necessarily that they love. We get that a lot too. But a lot of people are like, I love you girls. You girls are so fun. Like you look like, I just want to go get a coffee with you or a happy hour with you. And we're like, oh my gosh, thanks. Like we always feel so flattered. But people just want to be our friend. And because they want to be our friend, they want to work with us. So it's always just funny when we hear those, that like people say that on inquiry calls. It's just like, they're just like, you're so fun and we want to be your friend. So that's where that playfulness comes in, right? Because we do show up playfully online, but also we have the credibility to back what we do, right? Case studies, portfolio examples, testimonials, all of those types of things that bring in that professionalism and that credibility. And then obviously processes and everything that we work with through our clients to give them the services that they've signed up for.
Yeah. And I'd say for years, we built that personality voice relationship with our audience and our clients. And then it wasn't until 2 years ago when we rebranded that we visually leaned into it too.
Yes. Which a lot of people, when we did that, well, before we did that, people were like, why are you rebranding? Your brand is so cute. And I was just like,
it's beautiful.
Shit.
Your brand is beautiful.
Beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, why are we rebranding? But it just didn't feel like us. It didn't have that playful side of like how we showed up with our audience and our clients and all of that. And once we rebranded, people are like, oh, this clicks. Like this fits these girls and their vibe.
And there are a lot of people who are like, I love your brand and I love what you do. It's not for me, like, but I understand why that's for you. And then they still realize like that, like, I still want you to work on the brand because you understand it from like that perspective.
Right.
So it's also like really interesting to see people like understand that the personality comes through in the brand, but for them it's going to come through differently, which is cool.
Yeah.
So so just like a moment to talk about kind of the difference, because I think there's something to be said about being playful and being lazy. Like it can be kind of seen as like, oh, I'm like really laid back and fun and blah blah blah, and you say all of that, but then you don't stick to timelines and you're flaky and you're like, there are certain areas where it can kind of feel like playfulness is a crutch for you to be lazy in your business. And that's not what we're talking about here. So playful is showing your personality through your words, through your visuals, having like a clear brand strategy that articulates who you are, how you sound. And like, that is where the professional side of that playfulness comes in, which we'll talk about later too. Cracking jokes. Like obviously you can have these like inside moments with your audience, with your clients, with your Instagram followers. Like you can still have these like real relatable moments. Making your audience feel something is also bringing in that playfulness, the warmth and humanity in your voice. So again, bringing in that brand, that unique brand voice that's really you. So playfulness is meant to be that differentiator. It's something that helps people remember you. They want to feel comfortable with you. They want to see that you are an actual human behind the business. But where it gets a little crazy, I'd say, is where playful people can chalk it up to, oh, I'm laid back and fun and easygoing.
Kind of like going back to that, like, this is where you can't be lazy.
Yes.
This is where you need to be buttoned up, essentially.
So that's where things like missing deadlines come in, because, well, I'm a creative person and I have a really hard time sticking to deadlines.
Quote unquote, you're creative.
Yeah, right.
Abby's looking at me, rolling my eyes like, girl, you can create anything any day, okay?
Right. So deadlines, showing up late, blaming it on like, it's just who I am. Like, I'm just the late person. Like, I think my husband hates this about me because I am a last minuter, which this is something that I was like, we were talking about this the other day, where it's like kind of like an ADHD quality of like people to, it's not now, so I don't need to worry about it. Like if you are going out the door and it's like, okay, I have to leave in 2 hours. Well, that's 2 hours. Like, right now, I don't have to worry about it. But all of a sudden, it'll be 20 minutes before we have to leave. And I'm like, I gotta take a shower.
Okay, I feel like you and I are so opposite when it comes to that. Like Mila has swimming lessons on Tuesday evenings, and so I have to leave. I have to stop working a little earlier than normal. But it'll be like 10 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pack our swim bag. I'm gonna get everything
No.
set, ready to go. Here's her snacks. Here's her swimsuit, and then I just have the bag next to the door. So when I have to go,
That's
it's just
not me.
ready. Oh gosh,
Oh,
we're
that's not me.
opposite.
No, that's not me at all. That's me is like, oh, it's 15 minutes. I have to run out the door. Where is all the stuff?
And this is what you and Glenn had a conversation on the other day.
Yeah, because he's like you, like he will be prepared. And even like today, like his parents are coming over to stay with us. And so I told him, I was like, can you clean the bathrooms? He was cleaning them this morning. And I was like, why are you doing that now? Like
Oh my
before
gosh.
we go to school. And he's like, well, after I pick them up, they'll be here soon. And but in my brain, I'm like,
But
well,
they won't
that's
be
an
here
after I
yet.
pick up the boys situation from school. Like, I'll clean then. Like, I'm not going to clean 8 hours early. Like, I don't know.
That
It's
is
just how
hilarious.
it's how my brain works.
Ah.
But I draw the line at like, you're speaking on something, you are meeting a client, you are meeting someone. If you're late, you better have a pretty dang good excuse. Like,
Mhm.
if someone shows up 15 minutes late on a Zoom inquiry call that's only 30 minutes, you better bet in my head, I'm thinking, is this a red flag? Should we watch out for this?
Right. Is this a red flag or did they have an emergency? Like we get it, life
Yeah.
happens. But if you're lazy,
Yeah.
if you're flaky, if you can't manage your calendar,
Mhm.
like those things are definitely red flags.
Yeah, those are
And-
red flags on our end, just from a client side of like,
Yes.
okay, does this mean you're going to miss all of our timelines?
Mhm.
So we look at that too. And I would expect that our clients would look at us like that as well if we were showing up late on inquiry calls too.
Mhm.
Which, okay, like luckily there's two of us. So if one of us has a call running over
Divide
or
and
whatever,
conquer.
yeah, we can divide and conquer. But like, or it is clarity on that. Like,
Mhm.
hey, I have a call running over. I need to email or message you or let you know. Like, there's got to be a good reason.
Yes. Yeah.
Delivering sloppy work just to hit a deadline, like that's just no, that's
Mhm.
lazy.
We like something that we just like ping off of that we do is if we need a little bit of extra time or because I am quote unquote creative, like if you are a creative, you understand this is that some days you have on days and some days you have off days, as does anybody in any business with whatever you do. But if your creative just isn't clicking one day, sometimes you do just have to walk away. So, if I need a little bit extra time on a brand board or whatever, I will always communicate to the client like, hey, I would rather send you this finished and polished up versus where it is right now. I need an extra 24 hours.
Yeah.
So even just like, that's where that professional comes in, right? Like don't send half-assed work.
Mhm.
Let them know you need an extra day.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like that does make sense. I can't quite do that of like the keywords just aren't flowing today. I can't find a good one.
I don't
like
know.
Semrush just isn't
The
like
internet isn't interneting. I just can't. That's funny.
Goodness. So then, I mean, in other words, it's kind of just like, don't be flaky. Like
Mhm.
playful isn't flaky. It's still being professional in the right spots. So
Yeah.
we'll kind of talk about that.
So we want to talk about where we infuse that playfulness and where we don't. Because you might be sitting here like, well, then how do I be playful? Like if you just told me all the things that are lazy. So where we bring in playfulness are things like our social captions. Social is can be a fun space.
Mhm.
It can also be a burnout space, but this is where you can have fun with your business. This is where you can have, you can have some of those jokes like Abby was saying, or you can use some fun emojis or have just fun, playful content. This is where that really can come to life really fun. I went down a rabbit hole a couple weekends ago on some of our reels. I was just looking way back in our vault of reels that we've posted in the past. We
Scary.
used to be probably a bit more fun than we are nowadays because we don't have as much time to get together and do these reels, but we had fun.
That was like back when dancing reels and trendy reels
yeah.
were like a thing.
Yeah.
Now I just hate them.
Okay, but they are still fun. We're gonna do a reels day someday soon.
Ugh.
So social is definitely a place where you can be super playful, I would say. It's a little less of a, it's still like a marketing channel, obviously, and there are still people that show up very professionally there, but it is one of those channels where it's a little bit more laid back and people kind of expect the playfulness to come through.
Mhm. I will say there are a handful of people I follow that are in very professional industries that bring in playfulness as well. Like, um, is it, there's a beverage brand that is really big on this where they like just play jokes on their boss all the time. So they'll like
Oh
show
my
up full
gosh.
on dressed as the Grinch and join a Zoom call and he'll be like, what is happening? And that's like they bring that into their social and that's just like how they do it. They
Hmm.
just always joke with their boss. There was someone else I saw that was like, my boss said he'd pay for my honeymoon if I got this many followers for him. And
Oh
he's
my
like this
gosh.
huge financial bigwig. And he he does these things where he'll be talking to like a board or like a massive group of people and he'll be like placing random objects in my boss's hands in unexpected times. And he'll like go up to him and he's in an audience of like 100 people and he'll go put like a bell in his hand and then walk away
Oh
without any
my
context.
gosh.
And like that kind of stuff is like it's refreshing, honestly, to
Right.
see
Right.
that with people who are like, you know, they're at the freaking stock market in a suit. Like,
Hmm.
because then it's also like you're real.
It makes you real.
Yeah,
Yeah. It
you're a
makes you
real
real. It
human.
makes you like I can actually talk to you and approach you versus like be terrified because you're in this stiffy suit and you're like way up there.
Yeah.
And like I feel like you and I can't relate because you're so different than I am.
Yeah.
So when you see those things, you're like, oh, well, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like we can talk about that. We can joke and you can be a real human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's even like social is where even the most professional industries can be a little playful.
I saw one the other day. I haven't sent it to you. They got on a call with their CEO. I don't even remember the business, but they were all they were all on a Zoom call and the CEO didn't know it, but everybody else was drinking from anything but a cup.
Oh yeah.
And then she eventually was like, what is happening, you guys? She was like, she kept going and going and going. And then all of a sudden she's like, what is going on? It's funny. It's like,
those are good.
it's, kind of comic relief that
Yeah.
everybody needs.
Yeah.
Playfulness can belong in your emails. People are there. People are in your inbox for a reason. They signed up for your newsletter for a reason. So obviously you can talk to that audience and have a little bit more fun with them because they know you, they want you in their inbox. So that's a fun place to be playful as well. Onboarding gifts. So when you're onboarding clients, obviously a big part of our brand is confetti. So we could have fun with things like confetti.
If we want them to hate us, we'll give them like a
Confetti bomb.
box.
Yeah. Here you go.
They'd be like, dang it.
Yep.
Cancel my contract.
Sorry. It's part of our brand.
We also hired you a cleaner.
Yes, right. See, that would be the thing. That
That
would be
would
where
be.
they're like, oh, now I
Wow.
now makes sense.
Yeah.
Brand visuals, obviously, when we went through our rebrand, we obviously really punched things up. We made it so it stands, or so it's a little bit more playful and like our actual brand. So brand visuals are a really fun place to add in some playfulness. And this can be anywhere: social, email, website, print collateral, all of those things. Podcast episodes, case in point, like we are not rigid. We are not super buttoned up when it comes to our podcast. We swear occasionally. We tell you things that happen in our daily lives. Like it's just very conversational, but also educational. And then just your voice as the founder of your company. You are the brand, you are that voice, and bringing in some fun playfulness into your voice is what makes your brand playful. Like Abby and I don't know, we just like to have a good time.
Yeah.
We don't like to be too serious because sadly life's too short. So we just like to have a little bit of fun with it. So that's where your brand voice is super important for how you want to come off, whether it is playful or professional or a mix of both.
Yeah. I'd say your voice in everything you do and write. Like
Yes.
blogs aren't on this list that we have in front of us right now too, but that is where our voice comes through too. Like the way we talk, whether it is right now through a podcast, in a blog post, in our website copy, in an email,
On our stories.
yeah, like in our email templates for our projects, like everything has our own unique voice to it, and that's what makes it so different from all the other content out
Mhm.
there. And I'd say with like just from an SEO perspective of like with AI and people being able to create content at the drop of a hat, the only thing that is going to set you out is your voice.
Mhm.
That is what's going to make you
I
different.
have seen so much content flying around lately that's like, I can tell if you're using AI because of this, 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 and this.
Mhm.
And like the list just keeps getting longer
Mhm.
and longer.
Yeah.
And so that's what, like, that's where your voice comes in so powerfully,
Yeah.
because if AI has this list of things that are going to just like call you out that that's not you actually talking, you're gonna lose your audience because it's no longer you
For real.
and your voice.
For real. Okay, so on the flip side, where playfulness needs to take a back seat, and even for us, like we love to have fun and be playful, but there are certain situations where it needs to, you need to just put it in the back.
Lead with professionalism.
Yes. So contracts, no fluff. You don't need the fluff, playful copy in your contracts.
No.
Like your contracts are your contracts. They should be
Simple,
legally binding.
legal.
So yes,
yeah.
focus on that. Your project scopes. So even things like your investment guides, when you are including bullets of like what it is that you offer, there shouldn't be fluff in there.
They shouldn't
like,
have to guess what you're trying to
No,
say. It should
no.
be very clear what's
it should
included.
be clear what you're getting, because this is where you are exchanging money for
Mhm.
something in return.
Yep.
So the clarity, the professionalism needs to live there. You're pricing any legal and financial documents that you're doing. So obviously when it comes to anything like anything to do with your contract, your scope, any of that.
Protecting your business.
Yes.
Yes.
And then boundaries around your time and communication. This could be internal boundaries or like client facing boundaries too,
Mhm.
is that you need to protect yourself too. So there is a line that needs to be drawn of this is like a serious deadline, or this is when I am not available. Like you can't box me at midnight and expect me to answer. Like
Mhm.
there are certain things where you just need to set your own boundaries, and it's not like it's okay to do that and not be this like playful, bubbly, confetti throwing bestie. Like sometimes it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm only available to Vox until 4 p.m. and then I'm with
Yeah.
my kids, like whatever.
Mhm.
So there's things like that you should make sure you draw a line on,
Mhm.
and not, because I do think like some people, although there's a lot of people that struggle with being playful and incorporating that into their business, there's also the opposite effect of people who struggle with the professional in the line of like, well, I want to be flexible for you, and I want to be like your best friend, and I want to like help you, but you do it at the sacrifice of yourself.
Mhm.
And then you burn yourself out and you're exhausted and you wonder why.
Mhm.
And that's because you haven't like drawn that line of like, this is where I truly need to be like professional and communicate my boundaries. And a lot of times we don't even take the time to actually set up what those boundaries are.
No.
And that can be the problem.
Or we do and we don't talk about them, or we do and we don't stick to them, or
Which
I
we're
mean,
guilty of this too.
Abby and I have done that so many times, even just like internally in our own business, not just with clients, but like we've made so many rules in the past. Like, okay, I'm not going to Vox you past 5. 3 days later, it's like 8 o'clock and I'm sending a Vox. It's just, you need to really stick to them.
I said I was going to walk on my walking treadmill for all of our internal calls. I think I did it once.
I think you did it once.
One time.
Yeah.
One time.
We should look back at
I
our
was
goals
like,
that
accountability,
we set.
friends.
We had a lot of like taking care of ourselves goals when we had our meeting, and I don't know, we probably haven't stick to much of them, but guess what, we're just checking off all the biz ones.
I know. Yeah. You know, so
take care of yourself,
anyways. No, too, like of this, it's constant evolving working process to find out where you need to bring in the professionalism and where you need to bring in the playfulness. Like it's just constantly going to evolve as your business evolves too.
Yeah.
And as you evolve.
So a quick playful test that you can do is just ask yourself a few questions. So first of all, does this sound like me? Like, I think a lot of people, when it comes to their brand and their business, sometimes people are afraid to show up as them because, again, they want to show up professionally, let's say, for example, but they are a little bit more fun and quirky, but they're afraid to show up like the fun and quirky. And so if it doesn't sound like you, it's okay to be. It's okay to be you. You are your brand, you are your business. So it's just a matter of finding the level of both of those, right? So the things we just listed off for playfullism and professionalism. But just making sure at the end of the day, it does sound like you. Both of them, like, right? The combination of both or one or the other.
Yeah. It can also be like a little imposter syndrome of like, I love this, how this person interacts online and I love how they show up. But at the end of the day, it might just not be you.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right.
Like, I am not a super extroverted person. Like, I do really well with like small group settings, people that I really know and like am comfortable with, but you put me in front of a bunch of big people, like a big group of people, it drains me.
But
like,
you would never know that about Abby because
but it
I
drains
am an
me.
extrovert. Like I love those kinds of things. I also do get drained from it, but I love those kinds of things. But you would never, like, I've known Abby for such a long time and we've been in business for a while, that whenever we do go to bigger things like that, you would never guess because she's still out there talking. She's still out there doing the thing, getting to know people, whatever,
sucks.
Making connections. But in the back of her head, she's probably like, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. But so you're a really good faker.
And it's right. But if I had to live that way always, like, yes, I understand that, like, when you go to big speaking events, like, yeah, you got to get out of your bubble. You got to do things that are uncomfortable. Like, you have to talk to people and whatever. It's still like, yes, it drains me and I still have to like pep myself up for it beforehand. And it's like, you got to be in the mood for it kind of situation. Yeah. If I had to do that every day for our business, I would hate it.
I couldn't do it every day.
So that's where it's like, you have to learn who you are.
And that's like, where those boundaries come in too, right? Like you can be a bubbly, fun, playful business and go to events sometimes, but you don't have to grind and do that all the time. Yeah. If that's not what you want.
Yeah. Right. So it's like, I will talk to our email list of 5,000 plus people like I'm sitting down with them for coffee because they're on my computer screen, and that is a-okay. I will like talk to you one-on-one because that's how I envision it. I'm sitting down with you as an individual. I'm not talking to 5,000 people. You put me in a room of 5,000 people, no.
That would actually make me crap my pants too, so
right.
Okay, so another thing you can ask yourself, is the info accurate, helpful, and clear? So what you're trying to sell or talk about or whatever it might be, you need to make sure it's accurate, helpful, and clear, because if you start to get muddy because you're being too playful or whatever that might be, then you might start turning people off because they're like, wait, what does this mean? What are they talking about? That's again, like contracts, proposals, services, you need to be very accurate, very
your
clear.
Packages, your investment. Like, don't get so crazy that you're like
that you're going to turn people off.
People will be like, wait, are you building me a website or what are you doing?
Yeah, because if they have to think about it, you've lost them.
Yeah.
And then the last question you can ask yourself is, will my audience trust me more because of it? So, whether it's being playful or more professional, what is your audience going to think about any shift that you might make or however you're showing up? We feel like our audience trusts us more because we are a little bit more playful. And like, we have found that the audience that is following us or the clientele that we get enjoy that playfulness, enjoy who we are, like our personalities. So we've found that balance for our business, but it's asking yourself too, what is your audience going to think about this? Because your audience is super important, right? I think in today's world, there's a lot of people that are showing up online in their businesses about everything politically that's going on. And a lot of people have been very clear, like, I've lost 5,000 followers, but you know what? That's okay, because I guess they weren't
stronger ones they've gained.
Yeah. Like they weren't
that are aligned
for, for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we want people at the end to be like, oh, these girls will get me. They will understand me. Yes. Like they understand what I'm going through, or they understand my life or whatever. And that is what the playfulness should help people understand you better. Yes. And that's the point of it. It's not to be playful just to be playful. It's like, I'm doing this because this is who I am as a person. And like, I want to connect with you on a more personal level than just business.
Yes, exactly.
So let's talk about a few simple swaps you can make. So like, these are real life things you can do like right now in your business. Because I think sometimes just getting some like real life examples can be kind of fun. So One, if you have a bunch of buttons on your website and they're all just like submit, read more, learn more, click here,
Click.
then maybe you can pep it up a little bit. Like, this is where you want your audience to take action. So you'll see buttons like, yeah, there are some read more buttons that go to blogs because
Mhm.
that's the template, whatever. But there are other buttons that are like, let's chat, and we want you to come to the inquiry thing. And instead of let's chat or inquire
Mhm.
or submit the form, it's let's duo this.
Submit the form.
Like, there's ways to bring in some personality. So
Mhm.
look at your CTA buttons that specifically the ones that connect with your audience. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want them to
Or
take
your
connection.
brand. Let's duo this. It
Mhm.
like connects back to our brand, but it's also an action. Let's do this.
Yeah. We have GIFs in our email funnels. So this is something that's really fun.
We're
We
big gift fans.
we are big GIF fans. So we have confetti GIFs all over the place, like the really fun ones that make you laugh. And these are something that we add into like our email funnels that are our automated emails, just to add. We know they're automated emails. We're not trying to hide it. It's just to add a little bit more playfulness of who we are. Like,
Mhm.
we want you to understand who we are. It doesn't mean that we don't connect with them personally, because we still do.
Yeah.
These are just things that keep things moving for them. So
Mhm.
if someone inquires, we want them to hear from us right away.
Yeah.
So in that first email, they're going to see like a little bit of who we are, who our voice is, what our playful, like how playful we can be, and make that connection right off the bat. And then
Mhm.
we'll connect personally later.
Yeah. Another one is use or get brand photography that isn't just a headshot, and actually use it. I
Mhm.
think sometimes people are afraid to use the photos that look a little funny or silly or not posed, or you're just doing something weird in the photo. Those are fun photos to use because that's you being you,
Mhm.
and people want to see that. So it doesn't just need to be, headshots are great, but do one where you're dancing or where you're making a silly face or whatever.
Mhm.
And also just making sure that you feel comfortable with your brand photographer. Ours is amazing. It's Abby's mother, Julie Greer Photography. But it's just, she has us do fun things where we get these fun photos and we're just like, oh my gosh, wow, look at, that's real. That's authentic. They're
Mhm.
having fun.
Yeah, for sure. And I think these are the fun things too we've been able to sprinkle into a lot of our website projects, of like, before they work with their photographer, it's also like, hey, here's some tips and ideas on like some things we can use throughout your website. And then it's also fun because, as like on our end too, of like, our web designer will come in and choose some of like her favorites too, and you get an outside perspective, because everyone's so hypercritical of themselves in
Oh,
photos.
yes.
And so half the time there are things where will be like, your face is all over social today. Sorry. And I didn't even review it, but it's like, that's okay. Like, I'm going to
Right.
be hypercritical of how I look in X, Y, and Z. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't like that color, or I thought my face looked chubby that day, or
There
like
was
something
one photo that I
stupid.
used one time in a post, and you're like, yeah, please don't ever use that one again. And I was like, noted.
I mean, every once in a while there might be one. Like, you still get a say. You still want to like look and feel good.
Yes.
But at the same time,
Obviously.
it's like, your audience isn't critical of you. They just want to see you in your
Right.
element. So
Yeah,
have fun
exactly.
with it. We also have a Zoom landing page. So anytime anyone comes to chat with us online, so whether it's a client or an inquiry call, we have a landing page that people go to first, and then they click the button to actually join the Zoom. And on that landing page, it's like, grab your coffee, like, let's get ready to chat. And it's a picture of Court and I. And so it's just
cute.
Yeah.
It's a cute, simple thing that you can do to add playfulness and add more to your brand.
Yeah. And it's just something you can do right before you chat with them.
Beverages are a big part of our brand and infused in literally everything that we do. So is there something like that within your brand that you can bring into? So maybe you like jokes, or bring in mom related content, like nap time specials, stuff like that. We did change our newsletter recently to the confetti drop, because confetti is also a big thing in our business. But it used to be called tips and sips. So obviously, like, we'd give a tip, and we love different things to sip on. So anytime, we're doing something like that, or creating something new, like SEO on tap, like, it relates back to drinks. So anytime we create something new or do something new, we're always like, oh, what could the name of this be? And it always usually lands around beverages.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just fun and playful and, again, rememberable.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, your email signature sign off. So, is there something you can infuse in that makes it a little bit more personal? That sign off is something that people see every time they interact with you. So, what is it that you can bring in? Like, can you add in a little joke or an inspirational quote or something about like who, I don't know. Even like you can even be playful with your work hours. Like I work Tuesday, Thursday because my kids drive me crazy Monday, Wednesday.
Right,
Like,
right.
you can have fun with that kind of stuff. We have like rather than the traditional names of like, oh, Heidi's our project manager, Laura's our web designer. We have like fun names for who they are within our business too.
Yeah, that's fun.
So,
also.
now I can't even. Why is Heidi's blanking on me?
Heidi's is the
Smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Smooth
Which is like she's the one that manages all the processes and client timelines, and like that truly is what she does. She makes sure your project is smooth sailing throughout the whole process.
And Laura's is the show it showstopper.
Yeah.
'Cause she's our show it website galley.
We've got our hand-drawn hype girl.
Oh, hand-drawn hype girl is Jamie.
Yeah.
Yep. Creative.
I think ours are the boring ones.
They are, actually. I literally brought this up to Abby the other day. I'm like, we sound lame compared to the rest of our team.
Account strategist, CEOs,
Okay,
whatever.
Adding it to the list.
We'll figure it out. But anyways, that's where you can have a little bit more fun and have a picture down there, have something else. So we have one of our most popular blog posts is how to create a custom Gmail signature in Canva.
Yeah,
so you
people
can
love
go
it.
follow along on that and check it out.
So to kind of sum it up really quickly, playfulness is what makes you memorable, and professionalism is what makes you trusted. And you honestly deserve both in your business. If you want both, you don't have to choose. It's not one or the other. You can infuse both. And just kind of taking those notes from like, what is the right amount of playfulness and what does playfulness look like versus what should still be professional.
Yeah, for sure. So 2 action items for you if you are someone that loves homework. If you don't, then end the episode now. But I promise you, this will help. So if you are struggling with this, it's probably because you are lacking a bit of that brand strategy and like clearly defining your personality. So that's where like we talked about earlier, like the imposter syndrome comes in of like, well, I wish I was like so-and-so on the internet. But is that actually you?
Right.
So actually diving deep into like who you are, how you sound, what your voice is, what your unique differentiator is. So we have a Sip and Strategize workbook that we will link in the show notes of this episode, and go fill that out. It gives you prompts so that AI can help you, but you can actually craft that brand strategy.
We've had so many people do this and they absolutely love it. And they come out with so much clarity on who they are and how they want to show up in their business from a personality perspective.
Yes. We had a website client that did the workbook with us, and then we used that to then build her website. And she did the brand strategy. So it's super fun to like dig into all of that. And if this is something you've done before, but you still struggle with, this is something we absolutely love doing for clients too. So
yes,
absolutely, you can also outsource this.
Yes. So, yes. You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
We can help you define your brand and voice and personality and all of those things. So that is step number 1. Grab that workbook in the show notes, because this is kind of the foundation of how your playfulness will come to life, because it's not going to look just like everyone else's. It might not look like ours at all.
No.
And it might not even be like playful. It might be just more real.
Yes.
Like just realness.
Yes, exactly.
And then if you are really struggling with maybe the opposite side of the professionalism, and you feel like you're worried that you're coming off like maybe instantly when we said like the opposite is lazy, and you were like, oh no. I kind of doubt that's anyone listening.
Yeah.
But if for any reason you feel like the professionalism is something that you struggle with because you are like super hyper creative and have a hard time with that, then that's where you can bring in a coach. And that's something that really helped us at the very early days.
Yes.
And it actually helped us from a playfulness side.
Yeah, it let us be more playful, actually. Yeah. Like our coach even said, like, you're not at the agency anymore. You can be you. You can define what this looks like.
Yes.
And we were like, oh,
that's interesting.
Okay, this sounds fun.
Yeah. So one of the things we worked on with her was like actually writing out SOPs and email templates and building things like that. And when we did that, we were rigid. Like we were pretty professional agency.
Mm-hmm.
And
We're
she
probably
would
a little
highlight.
stuffy. People are
Yeah.
probably like, what?
And she would highlight sections and be like, I don't think you have to like use, like, this is an agency jargony word.
Right.
Like this doesn't sound like you. Like you can like pepper this in. And there were like, she was very good at also being like, did you forget about this boundary? Like when's the deadline? Like certain things like that, and asking those questions. So that was super important. And yeah, that's absolutely a really good way to like get an outside perspective, because if you are a solopreneur in your business all by yourself, then that can be kind of hard to like, okay, how do I have an outside approach to whether I'm doing this correctly or not? So
Right.
those are your two takeaways. So run to the show notes, grab that workbook, and we'll see you next week.
It's time for a refill. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Duo on Air.
If you loved hanging out with us today, here are 3 quick ways to support the show. 1, subscribe so you never miss a new episode.
2, share this episode with a biz bestie and tag us on Instagram at duo.collective.
And 3, leave a review because we love hearing from you.
Finally, keep sharing your episode ideas. We love creating content for you. Head over to duocollective.com to catch up on all the latest episodes, brand and website makeovers, SEO tips, and so much more.
See you there. Let's duo this thing called business together.